Hello, hello. We're gonna get started at about the 5-minute mark. In the meantime, you can enjoy this super awesome music. Hi, Leander. How are you doing today, man? Yep, my super secret plans did not end up working out for this week, so we're gonna be playing Heaven's Vault. I'm pretty good. Inevitably, got a lot of things going on at the same time, but I'm really happy to be able to take a break here and stream for a little while on this really chill game. So yeah, weirdly my timer for how long I've been going is not working, but we'll get started in about 2 minutes anyway. Okay, let's get started. My clock just hit 5:05, so let's get rolling. So this is Heaven's Vault. Yes indeed. Fascinating schedule in Twitch. But yeah, this is Heaven's Vault. This released last year. It's by Inkle, an indie studio who is most famous for 80 Days. And I'm very excited. The game they are currently developing is based on Arthuriana. It's named Pendragon. And we will definitely be playing that one when it comes out, because Arthurian myth is right up this channel's alley. But this one is not that. This is Heaven's Vault, which is Near Eastern ancient archaeology in space. We'll be playing on New Game Plus. I've finished the game once previously, so some of these inscriptions are going to be a little bit harder to read, but it should be fine. I vaguely remember some of the words, and my dictionary should cross over. Yeah. Begin a new game plus. So this will make things a little bit easier for us on identifying various ancients.
Stories don't have tidy beginnings. The past is always present.
And yeah, we can already see the Mid-Eastern aesthetics on the way.
Spark. Something that brings the past to light.
Do not let the view distract you. Careful you don't roll backwards. And yeah, we see some kind of deity here and some kind of other statue we just passed with one eye as we come up here. It's a long way down. This game is incredibly stylized and incredibly cool. So we have some kind of statue here on this fairly barren world, and something bricked up here. Some kind of something. And here we see the main mechanic of the game. 4 words, but only 2 are clear. So, all around the world, we're mostly doing linguistics, archaeolinguistics. Those 2 words translate to Heaven's Vault. Which I love. This game has received a lot of praise from historians for being the best account of just how the experience when you come across something you know basically nothing about and trying to slowly piece it together and of doing material history. I hesitate to call it archaeology because we cheat on all of the actual archaeology.
Begins on Iox. That was where I met the robot.
But yeah. Mistress Aaliyah. Mistress Aaliyah Lazra. Have been waiting for you. I have been asked to escort you to Professor Mayari. She is very anxious for your arrival. I'm sure you would not wish to keep her waiting. This way. Is Mara in a good mood today? Uh-huh. What's it fun? And we're just gonna try and keep talking to our robot here and keep going. Yeah, the animation style takes some getting used to. It's very, very, very stylized and a little bit simplistic, but this is halfway a visual novel, so it's a lot more
I was 15 when Mayari rescued me from the slums of Elbereth and brought me here.
Yeah. So, sorry, I got distracted reading it. I should not do that. This whole area, I mean, this is fairly brutalist, to be honest. Like, the whole architectural style looks quite a bit more, like 1960s concrete brutalism than any sort of ancient society, though the whole courtyard system here is styled on an Islamic madrasa, or school. So this is a really interesting mix of aesthetics that does kind of communicate that the aesthetic is kind of vaguely Mid-Eastern, but the overall, we are not in the same place, we are not on Earth. Professor Mayari? Aaliyah, there you are. Come in. You're our expert on history. Tell me what you make of this. It's a brooch. Yes, Aaliyah. They didn't tell me how we rest the nebula to tell me that. It's certainly old. Empire period. The device is the eagle and the sun. And a man named Janaki Renba sent it to me. Maybe, I'm not sure. Look at the detail. I see them, ancient markings. I know they're a hobby of yours, Aaliyah. But can you read them? I don't know, can we read these? This is the start of a fragment of text. So, we've got all of our things here. Of a bunch of words that I definitely know and some words that I maybe know. So we have some of our words that we definitely know we can just fill in. And something blessings of... It's a long one. And so there's some just stock phrases here, honestly, for the we get words right. But we have a dictionary here of just a bunch of symbols. And these symbols are a completely constructed language, which is awesome. I do have a minor in linguistics from university, so like seeing this is incredibly cool. So clearly, like there's relationship of holy, and then a blessing uses the same chord there, and you alter that a little bit to get some kind of ruler symbol. So there's some really interesting, slightly logographic morphology going on in all of these words. The blessings here, this symbol with the curve with another tail is man. And then, yeah. So it's like a holy giving of, or a holy giving of holiness, I guess, would become a blessing. And this one, hard to say. Hard to say. So we've got another man symbol there. What's our related? We don't have related words. Okay, it's probably etch. The reason I can guess that one instead of enjoy, because it's safely not water. It's safely not shine. It could be etch. It could be enjoy. The reason I think it's etch is doing a little bit of contextual work on the claim. Space Rivers, it's great. We're doing New Game Plus, so the words are a little bit harder. But it's contextual. Since this is material history, we're doing the taking a look at it on a brooch. So it could be either, actually. If this is meant to be a dedication that you have this brooch, use it to enjoy a mark of blessing. Actually, no, I think that does make more sense, is that it's a human with sunbeams here. So maybe that is supposed to be some kind of joy. So, either work, either the blessing is carved into the thing, or the brooch is the gift. The brooch is a gift, and so it's a mark of blessing. I think we'll stick with this translation. And we'll say this is close. Myths and legends, we are far, far away from Mars. Very far away. We'll see the rivers in not very long, luckily, but they are amazing. This whole thing takes place on a series of moons in a far-off nebula. And so we are on the university moon of Iox, which is the powerhouse of the nebula right now. Most of the resources in the nebula on other moons are being shipped into Iox to support the university, and we'll figure out why later. Wow. Wow. Mayari is absolutely savage. So, yeah. Firstly, we're being told to go to Mayari, but we are an early career researcher in academia, so we need way more stipends. The eternal sadness of the early career researcher is real. Additionally, we get to see this robot. Which is, yeah. We have a bad history with robots. For the beginning, we're going to refer to this robot as 6. Because this is our 6th robot. We've broken 5 previous robots. It's great. And Renba, the person we're looking for, is apparently an expert in robots. We are not. But 6 doesn't know that yet, so 6 still thinks this is a good deal. Now. We have a lot of things, but let's take a look at some of our inscriptions. I think we've got some of the old ones. Nope. We still only have the one. Okay, it wiped that data. That's a shame. Because I did a lot of inscriptions later, and some very cool places. Anyway, here's Huang. He's another scholar here at the university. And he's the closest thing to a friend Aaliyah seems to have. He's the librarian as well, or one of the librarians. So, yeah. He's pretty cool, honestly. He can help us with some of our inscriptions if we get stuck. He's translating the Annals of Mazwai, which are about a 600 period 600-year-old text in the time of this game. Actually older. I think that we have a very old one.
With such passion that his eyes glittered, and he seemed to grow at least an inch taller.
Well, what's weird though with teaching or Huang being a fan of the Annals of Mazmai is that historical text is kind of actually being read as a philosophy book, which is interesting. The main philosophy of the conception of time here is that time is cyclical, like very, very cyclical. And so studying history is a little pointless. We disagree, and we're right, as it turns out, but oofed. Okay. And so we have some, we're guessing some others. Well then. Many lost. This one is there, because it's of them. So we're seeing again the kind of same structures appearing in this logography. And this kind of follows one of the main principles of historical linguistics, and of really linguistics in general. It's very, very rare. Ooh. Which one would this be? Their friends. Maybe this is supposed to be parents. That would make more sense than overseers. Parents and children. Lost their friends, their parents, and their children. Should be depressing. Certainly these two words need to be related, and if there was nothing here related to overseers, right? Could be harvest, but I don't like that because it's a person. Yeah, I think this is how we do it. Many lost their friends, their parents, and their children. So some kind of great past tragedy. Anyway, the principle of linguistics that I wanted to talk about here is the idea that in morphology, so in the form of a word, all parts of meaning and grammatical role are contained somewhere within the word. Doesn't have to be long, it can often be a single letter, and there's no inherent tie as to which a certain letter will always have this form. But you got your core meaning in the root, and then a grammatical ending, and then if there's any infixes, you have those as well. And those, so the entire point of the word in that sentence is contained in some element of the word. So for there, it's the THI becomes a contraction of they. So pronoun, there's our root, which in here is symbolized by the man symbol, dot, and then the hook. So not the little apostrophe, but the rest of it. And then the grammatical role, the genitive or the possessive, is shown by the apostrophe, making it there. Their friends, their parents, and their children. And we got it right. Probably. In order to keep figuring it out and to make sure we get it right, we have to find other inscriptions out in the world with the same words. We need to just build up a critical mass of texts, and as long as what we're doing keeps making sense, we'll slowly build up more and more knowledge. Which is good. That's exactly how it worked in material history. That's how it works whenever we're approaching a new text. It's just an extremely, extremely slow process. So there are texts that have only recently been deciphered in like linear A has been. We have a pretty good idea on it starting in recent years, because we finally had enough time and enough texts to start kind of figuring out where the meaning is. But this game simplifies that just a little bit to make it actually playable. So, we're gonna head out to Spaaaaace. Apparently, that is not great for us. Hopefully we can make a profit out of this. And yeah, we're looking, well, what we do is go out into the field in space, find artifacts, and either give them to the university or, in some cases, sell them. We're not all that ethical, as it turns out. Oh, we have our whole map. That's nice. We have the whole map already. Aw. So these are the rivers. This is the nebula that we are getting to be a part of for the whole time. All the ways here is quite literally sailing along currents. And so everything we have here is a one-directional stream, and we go in circles a whole bunch as we're looking. But this will make some of the job a lot easier, a lot less sailing around randomly looking for things. Space sailing, here we go. Marcy is a tiny rural moon. That's where Janaki told Professor Mayari he was going. But why does a roboticist visit a farm? Let's find out. It'll be worthwhile for us. In my last playthrough of this game, I was completely honorable and sold no artifacts. We'll see if I hold to that ethics on this playthrough.
There was a short sail through fast waters.
And this is one of my favorite parts of this game. We've got our little ship here on the Nightingale, and we are going through this. Which is amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous, and this music is incredible. I know, this is such a calming game, especially for me. Spending 20 minutes trying to decipher an old book written entirely in Ancient is actually a great way to pass the time. But yeah, this is the nebula, and our ship here is the Nightingale. The water here is actually water. It's not just gas that's flowing as if it is water. This is actually water flowing through this nebula. Oh gosh, we've got some weirdness. Hello. We found the Nightingale some time ago. Actually, on Elbereth, we found it as a buried ship and restored it. With the help of a friend we'll meet later. Anyway, all this green dust means we are at Spaaaaace, which is one of the main food-producing areas in the nebula, because it is the place with some of the most water that we've seen. Water is really, really rare.
We stepped off the ship and into the mud. Mud covered the ground and rock. And everywhere I looked, things were growing from the mud. And some of those things had legs.
Look at this place. Breathe the air. I cannot breathe, mistress. Rest assured, I am most happy for you all the same. Well then. Let's see where Renda's got to. We're really lucky I found an old pot. Pottery is extremely underrated. Pottery is always good. Big important question. Where do we start? So, we got the water here, and then all over the place we have... Oh, come on. Come on. Yes, they are all useful. And yeah, so the university at Iox seems to be the head of a big protectorate. Kind of a follow up to the empire that was mentioned earlier. So Iox is taking most of the food produced here. I met some legends.
Earthy and sweet.
Yes, we do. That's actually one of the best things we want at an archaeological dig site is that cesspits or other sites of just where detritus accumulates is the best case scenario. Apart from something like tombs, like graves are always high status, but we learn a lot more from cesspits or other sites of landfill. In the Middle Ages, yeah, it's most likely that it's a latrine, ends up being where you throw away all the other things, various food scraps, broken pottery, anything you don't want ends up just going in the latrine throughout the Middle Ages, and so you get just layers and layers of muck. As long as it doesn't get cleaned out, it gets perfectly preserved over the time of its use. Anyway, somewhere on here, we have another bit of ancient. So this is only part of a symbol, but holy goddess of fields. The plant logograph is pretty easy to identify, and this one here is water. Basically, there's land cesspits tend to stay dark and cool because they're underground, and then it all just settles into a layer of muck. And that muck is really basically serves like a bog. It ends up being a protective thing as long as it stays all there. The water in the area and the coolness and dampness end up actually serving as a preservation tool. A lot of things, like if a text got thrown in there, it would probably get destroyed. But the material goods like pottery and some of that is quite helpful. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, utterly bizarre, is we keep getting more robots. It's a mystery. Not really a mystery. Wow. Rude. Rude, 6. You are rude. Well then. Yeah. No one seems very happy that I'm here. Because Iox is kind of a tributary, well, this is functionally a tributary state of Iox. And so, yeah, tax collectors are disliked everywhere. Anyway, let's go take a look at this warehouse. Hello? Don't tell them I was crying. We'll say we're from Iox. We were born in Elbereth, but shh. He told me you might come. Janaki? My tall Ioxian. He left something for you. But the goddess, to keep it safe. The statue. With Cabenia. I hope you find him, Miss Mayari. We're going to pretend we're Mayari, not that we're, not somewhere else, or that we're Aaliyah. So, that was weird. Janaki left something with the goddess, did he? Now, why would he do a thing like that? But Janaki left something for Mayari. Mayari sent us. Let's go find it. As a woman like that, why Renba came here? It seems someone from Iox has visited here recently. No, I'm not returning to the ship yet, Six. Stop having bad ideas. Yeesh. Aesthetically, like, the whole rice fields design is pretty cool. A little more Southeast Asian than it is Middle Eastern, but it's kind of building a little pastiche of places to get pretty close and to see what's going on. But Mercy's relatively wealthy as far as they go, because they have water. Water here is extremely rare. Anyway. More questions, more archaeology. Craftsmanship. Seems some kind of high status. The brooch we got is high status. I would agree with that. Let's take a look at, see if we can take a look at our, well, let me look at the brooch, I think. Which is sad. Oh well. Inscriptions. Mercy. Gods. Nope. Sadly, we have no way to actually look at it, but it was silver with some kind of gemstone in it, so that means it is probably very, very high status. What do you think? Are we ethical? I think we'll at least pretend we're not going to sell it. We may end up selling it later. That one's... Wow. There's got to be something around here. With Cabenia. And here we go. Almost buried in the grass. We have a shard of some kind of crystal. 6 can do some kind of scanning, which is handy. We can kind of skip a lot of the boring work of archaeology because well, 6 here can say do all sorts of scans very quickly for us to identify where something came from and to kind of triangulate its location. So let's get out of here and do that. This ends up being a very glamorized approach because a lot of the destructive analysis of crystal structures and mineral compositions and radiocarbon dating and all of that, which ordinarily destroys the artifacts to do, it ends up here being able to be done in a blink of an eye by a robot, and so we can get onto the fun stuff of treasure hunting. Because while the linguistics side of this is really, really good, the archaeology side of this is very much a little bit more of the Indiana Jones treasure hunting side. We're just trying to find artifacts more than trying to do all the lab work, and so it's those things as well. Keeps us focused on the fun part and the part that people are aware of. Anyway, originate from a moon somewhere on the edge of the Cyclones. The Cyclones is outside of the Ioxian Protectorate, but well, apparently Renba found something out there. Weirdly, oh god, 6, don't get existential on me. It's not needed. I hate when the robots have sentience. Anyway, somewhere out here. So we now get choices. Could go back to Iox. Or we could go out in search of new places. Figure out where that iolite came from. Let's go find the new site. The Verdant Pass, sailing to the iolite moon. Here we go. More beautiful, beautiful sailing. Then we get a little more exposition. Apparently interstellar or interlunar travel is pretty rare. Actually, very, very rare. Some people do travel, some people have to travel, but for the most part people are afraid of traveling. We'll meet some travelers later in the game maybe, depending on how far we get. We're probably not going to get that far actually. So we won't get to the huge book, because that's several hours away. But yeah, there's mostly, well, mostly just this nice peaceful sailing through here. Every once in a while, as we are sailing, we do end up coming across a moon or a fragment of a moon somewhere out here. Leander, that's fair. These cliffs are pretty scary to be on. Wow. Aaliyah's turn to roast. But yeah, we'll sometimes see floating out here things that got absolutely shattered, and are just fragments floating out in the middle of space. Despite them having almost no, oh, we missed our turning. Well, we are not going to bother to... We are not going to bother to reset because we're going to get back to where we need to anyway. Few possible search locations. There is just one. There is only one. But, yo, somewhere out here we will see things that are abandoned and that we can just stop the ship at and take a look. They'll be basically completely decontextualized because the rivers have burnished them clean. But sometimes they'll enable more. But this time, instead of finding a little tiny house on a fragment of rock in the middle of the rivers, we this time get into an actual moon. I think. I believe this one's an actual moon. But it may actually be just in... just a rock in space. Well, no way to land, which is kind of a problem. So, is this as close as we can get? No. The robots can teleport. Let's figure out what a hopper means, because apparently we are illiterate. So, the random technology here is that as long as there's a hopper, you can teleport to anywhere the hopper can see. So, 6 is gonna vanish. And then we'll be back in a moment.
Later, the robot was gone, and I was alone in the dark.
Just bailed. That'd be cool. Exactly. Though, sadly, the robot just kind of teleports itself. No beams required. Anyway, we get some kind of tool chest. Seems to belong to Janaki, so this is not an ancient artifact, but it is a modern bit of something. Some bit of something. Let's take a look at it. So, artifact of the recent past to try and figure out what happened to a missing person. The same principles apply. And we have the eternal joke about snakes and archaeologists. But, instead, no snakes, instead we just have a very rich purple fabric. Tiny characters embroidered into the material. In good condition. Largely unknown, and that's very true. Spaces are apparently very overrated. We pray for something. Ah, didn't have our options, but what's the most likely interpretation here is that this is eternity, because this double loop is a symbol for time, as is the single loop. They're both related to time. So we pray for eternity. And Myths and Legends, thank you for the recommendation. On the puzzle game side, I'm currently working through the Talos principle. Yeah, it is. It is in fact forever and many. Because the 2 loops, that is forever, and then the 4 strokes is many. You are correct. Many forevers, eternity. So, we have a ceremonial robe from someone, and a brass compass with the eagle and sun, so this is some kind of Empire period inscription as well. One end of a fractured fragment. The question mark indicates a question word, so time question mark, when. Hi Yorman, good to see you. We are playing Heaven's Vault, which is beautiful. When winds move into something. And so we're pretty sure we're right on winds, so literally it's moving air. We've got the symbol for move here with its noun markers. Or, sorry, with its verbal markers. A noun marker, movement, air. So, winds. Into, literally, of movement, so towards movement, into, and something. When winds move into weird. I don't think it's itself. That doesn't look right. It is a noun marker. It must be a sun time, so I think harvest is probably the best guess, but I'm not super confident of that. That one may be wrong. We will find out next time we come across this word. Still, this compass seems to be an Empire period way to help navigate. From the same site as the ROBE. And we can use those to help triangulate the location of new sites. And this toolbox continues to be just a treasure trove for us. Unfortunately, this is all completely decontextualized, so in terms of doing an actual archaeological or historical analysis with it, it's useless. This is helpful to find a site of production, but tells us nothing about who it got made for, who it got handed down to. Basically, in terms of actually doing history with this, we can't. What gods do not... Well, this doesn't work. What gods do not... Something there. And it dislikes that. Yo. Interesting. For some reason, it's not letting us work. There are no singular plural distinctions here. Weird. Why is it not detecting? It's supposed to detect when I've put in all the things that they're supposed to have. So this is annoying. I guess it wants me to do that, so we can go, nope, this is wrong. Because this is wrong. This is very wrong. Yep, okay. It just wanted me to throw things at the wall, even though I totally could. I totally could have done that. But there was decided I did not have the ability to. Anyway, this is seemingly much older than anything we found. And on a site that we so far don't know. So yeah, since we're doing the archaeology, exactly, that's my opinion of that. A change of pace would be good. That the wind's moving in a certain way is a super helpful navigational place. Anyway, we're going to try and figure out where Renba went to on his ship, and for some reason he went into the center of a frickin' hurricane. Anyway, what I do want to check is our long-term things here to try and figure out what on earth was going on. Renba hides a box some 30 days ago, found it 2 months ago, and if we look back far enough, 67 years, 80, 100, so about 180 years ago, 175 years ago, we have the foundation of the Iox Protectorate. Before then, there was a problem of a quote-unquote Dark Age, which is super yikes terminology, but that's okay. Since then, we have, well, some problems. The Fallers destroyed the Empire, but they never extended their reach beyond Iox. Generations passed into obscurity here. And then the belief in the loop changes. But yeah, for some reason, despite only being from 350 to 175 years ago, people have just not bothered to preserve any information about this time, which is kind of shucks. For comparison, like, that's American Revolution time period, just if we knew basically nothing on that. And the Empire here is only going to 1,000 years old, so that's better. And the figurine's is pretty old, like something from the Middle Ages for us. Around the same type of composition as Beowulf, this would be pretty close to. But then there was some kind of empire before that, on even farther terms. And yeah, possibly right before the start of the where we have any sort of information, maybe just marking an important location, or the archaeologist's favorite term, ritual purposes. And the ancient time, we have the only relics from the ancient time are fragments of writing, but on Iox, they believe the distant past will soon become our future. This is the loop that is mentioned later in the timeline. The belief in the loop is that time is cyclical and the past will become the future. However, instead of saying, oh yeah, let's learn as much about the past as we can to help recognize our future, they interpret this to be the study of history is completely goddamn pointless. We're very lucky Aaliyah disagrees. Anyway, though, we have our figure molded there, and somewhere else in here, look, 500 something years ago, the Chronicles of Mazwai appear. The brooch we got earlier. The compass is somewhere around then, so a lot younger than the figurine, and the exactly. They do have some vague idea. Like, they just use the Chronicles of Mazwai as like the only source on the loop is just Mazwai. And so whatever she said is what they think is going to happen. And her discussions on the Empire and on the deeds of the First Emperor and of more ancient history is completely and unquestioningly accepted as authoritative. This is bad historical practice. I've done a lot of work with annals from the 13th, 14th, 15th centuries for my thesis, and my god, that's not how that works. That is, amusingly, that kind of thought is how scholar or like non-professionals treated these annals in the elsewhen in the like early 20th century. They were just like, yeah, that works fine. We can just accept any weather events described in any older source as legitimate. And so you have some things like some of the details coming from in weather compilations. There's an Icelandic weather compilation from the early 20th century that uses as sources claims in the 1250s that there was a winter that was so bad that the sea around Iceland completely froze and people could walk across the fjords. The source for this is so-called Østfirðinga ANNALS, which turns out to be an 18th century text that has a vested interest in being entertaining, and so would make up weather events if nothing interesting happened that year. There was a particularly bad winter, but there's no account of that happening or of the events described happening in any older source. So it's the case of very uncritical source interpretation being very in play here and being very in play in the study of history's past. Anyway, we're going to go through these rocks into these rapids, and amusingly, as much as like they complain in this about the rapids being super scary, it is impossible to go off the rivers. There is no lose condition. They're just faster. There's no more risk to the player, which I appreciate, but I also does kind of take a little bit of the bite out of everyone's fear of the rivers. Just doesn't work so well when you just have a loud whooshing sound. Whooshing sound, and literally nothing else changes. It's fun though. It's real fun. Here we go. Come out into the rapids into a place of just non-existent flow. So let's take a look at our possible search locations. Well then, look at how many potential search locations we have. They all go to the same place. Six pretends we're lost, but our map is too good. Also, they all lead to the same end state. They go down here, and a moon appears. Right there. Yee. There's something up ahead. This is a moon we can land at. So, but instead of truly stopping, we can just pause, we can leave the ship in orbit and then land via teleporter instead of lunar lander. The Eye of the Cyclones. Will Rainbow be waiting for us here in the center of the storm?
The hopper fired, and for a moment I was gone. Not aboard the Nightingale, not on the moon beneath. It could have been a heartbeat or an hour. But I didn't feel the cold until I reappeared.
A pile of rocks smashed together by the water. Yeah, Leandra, there absolutely were winters that were that cold. And unfortunately, like, Iceland is really far north. Like, no map does it justice for just how really far north Iceland is. And so it is definitely possible that it gets cold enough around Iceland that most to all of the sea ice freezes. And then it's too warm by the time you get farther south. Because around Iceland we have two sea currents. We've got the Erminger Current, which is the end of the Gulf Stream, along the south coast, and we have the Greenland Current along the north coast. So the north coast is way fucking colder than the south coast is. And meanwhile, we seem to have found something really weird. A house.
There was a house.
How weird.
Tucked in below the overhanging rock. Wooden beams, brick walls, shutters. Large enough for two families to argue over. It would have been measly on Iox and grand on Elbereth. But here, it was impossible.
Yo. Honestly, like, air temperature-wise, actually the north is just more volatile. Up north, the summer actually ends up being way warmer than it does here in Reykjavik. So it can actually get up into like 20 degrees in the summer, where it'll, like, that's once or twice a year. But in the winter, it gets colder and it gets wetter than it does in Reykjavik. Which is pretty cool. Yeah. There's no shortage of good slopes around this part of the country, Leander. Actually, all over. The whole country's mountains. Everything is good slopes. Please. 6 thinks we're gonna die if we do that. But 6 always thinks we are going to die. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a great place to visit. I can't honestly recommend living there, but it is a great place to visit. And right now, it's very snowy. We've been getting no snow almost all winter, but we got a whole bunch last week. Uh-oh. Our robot went missing. Everyone panic. For some reason. Yeah. He definitely didn't get abducted. Yeah, exactly. That would be the obvious choice, wouldn't it? Some kind of shrine over there. Some kind of plinth there, and that doesn't look good. This does not look good at all. That's really probably a bad thing. Let's go inside first and see what's around here.
The ghosts were still here, cooking, reading,
Spooky.
doing whatever ghosts do. The house was empty, but it hadn't been abandoned.
Simply made, lots of wood, but the wood is not from around here, so it came from somewhere. And there's a bed here. But yeah, this is not meant to be particularly interesting. A really long thing, and a bunch of words. I think I still like the stranger, because it's not a friend. It's a person who is not a friend. So, stranger. But I. I think smiles makes the most sense. This could be right or think. Honestly, it's definitely not orange. Why orange is the word for warm, I don't know. But you know, whatever. But I think it's got to be think. This is a mind word. Mind and a thinking being is a man. So the later words is of. Thank you. I think they. This is a kind of separation. This is a separate word, and then yeah, I guess that it could be related to fire. And think that this is let's just assume that I know who's buried here or who lived here. So this makes sense. A stranger smiles, but I think they intend harm. Harm I'm okay with for sure. This one I'm not super fond of. I do not know these symbols well enough to get their individual meanings. But some kind of mentality, I guess. Something of mind, ill of mind, I guess. Or will in mind. Maybe. Maybe. It's beautifully written. Smashed in by someone lying down, and if it's being written by that, someone highly, highly educated to be that good at things. Oh yeah, this is gorgeous, and the camera is awful. Here we go. Thank you, camera. Why build something like this out here? Looks like several somethings, but it's starting to show its age pretty badly. The clay is collapsing, and the wood is shattered. There's something here. A sword. A sword from the Empire period. A huge sentence, jeez, okay. New Game Plus is not messing around. Okay, so we've got you're there. We've got an I there. A B there. Friend there, roughly. And a C there. Do not there. I do not something. Your. This is not right. This isn't making sense with the grammar, but that's alright. We'll just put them all in. I'm pretty sure it'll say I don't have the words yet for this inscription. Really, it's not even letting me do that. Okay. That's cool, I guess. I guess that's cool. Huh. Weird. It's not even telling me I don't have enough to solve this. So that does suggest to me that maybe I do have the information I need. But I didn't think that I do, because that doesn't make sense on its own next to the of. Between your and of should not be a single thing. So that doesn't make sense. This doesn't look right either. I would say that the C's here should be all the way between B and then the end, this dot. Maybe? I think I just don't have the things for it. Solidly in the unsolved inscription. But now we have a scimitar. So, an unknown site from the Holy Empire is giving us a little more information on who's out here. What's this? This is not... clearly not... not from the rest of the time period of the site. A different material, its context makes no sense. And yes, that is smoke. And there are scratches in the top of that for something that was here and was removed. So that is solid artifact analysis of looking for damages, looking at materials, contextualizing it within this site, and yeah, holding something, but what that something is impossible to tell. That's a bit of good archaeology. The bad archaeology is that we pocketed the scimitar, and we know it's in a site here, somewhere on the Holy Empire, but why it's here, we still don't know. Hey look, speaking of 6, Yorm, you were right, he just rolled off the cliff. Stupid robot. Yes, thank you for being snarky. I was worried about you. You could at least be grateful for that. Anyway, there's a bed here. And yeah, someone is not here, and someone died, apparently. It's minor but significant. Person on the floor, here for some time after death. Died apparently a long time ago. But they are... and there's no moisture, so the someone was buried here and was moved. Yeah, scores of years means some number of 20s, so that is... I can actually say with some confidence that the person here died approximately 350 years ago. Anyway, there's an inscription up here. More somethings. More and more and more somethings. Water, goddess, blesses, fire. Easy. Why Kibenya is blessing a fire? It's a mystery, but Kibenya is doing that. Done. Makes sense. The inscription fits the purpose of the fireplace, and there's a plausible interpretation as to why they would think, what mentality caused them to put that inscription in place. A ritual prayer to protect the rest of the house from the fire and to keep the fire where it's supposed to be. Huh. And we seem to have an iron poker. We'll just pocket that for purposes. Yoink! Mine now. Thinking. Correct. We are absolutely just stealing things. We are stealing all of our artifacts here. Or if we need to force someone open. What's in here? Well, this is cool. It's a few more things than that, but... Music... I know, certainly like archaeologists deal with that joke all the time. Luckily I'm a historian. I will just pretend that they did not steal it, or if they did steal it truly without permission and someone wants it back, help them give it back. Cough, Britain, could you please? Okay, this is a whole bunch of words I do know. When I... something, we've got rivers here. Rivers. Here we go. When I die, I hope the rivers come on. When I die, I hope the rivers take me. Take me. Where... Do we have anything of that symbol? No, we don't. Unlucky. Weird. Okay. Where something talks in where somebody's talk in some kind of many voices. Do we have the oven here? Okay, as instead. Come on. When I die, I hope the rivers take me where... something... How else can I do that? I assume it wants that and it'll just go, nope, I can't do this yet. Something's gone wrong, I must have used the wrong words. Okay, it does just let me... And it will cross out one of the words, yep. Okay, this is the sometimes frustrating part of this, where I know I have it right and it isn't giving it to me. I, and one more I there. Got rivers there. Take. Hope. Death. No, it does not. The reason why is the grammatical endings are different here. So, as voices talk. Yeah. The reason why I'm suspicious of that is that the where take me. If I have where there, this is an agrammatical bit in the grammar here. But we will, in that assumption, we'll actually remove the where, in the assumption that this is a longer question. Take me somewhere. Or to the place? Nay. Eh. Anyway, talk in something. We'll try the where here, see if that. Nay doesn't like that. So let's see if the as works. The grammar in here is not super clear. Yeah, it doesn't like that either. This doesn't feel right. And we'll get to try again. Let's see which word it wants me to remove. Okay, it's the as. That was not what I expected it to reject, but yeah, I mean, we're doing actual linguistics on a script that I clearly do not know all of. Roughly, I have no idea what the phonetics of this is, and in fact, Aaliyah has no idea what the phonetics of this is. But looking just purely at the morphology, we're trying to piece together how this works. Obviously, it's inspired by English in some important ways, like the question words being questions. But then it's also got features of, say, like a logographic system. So there's some kind of concept being contained in each symbol, and so you're tying the concepts together. So this symbol here is the life, or literally I think it's like a living spirit as kind of an electrical bolt. So unlife is die. Yeah, to a point, as long as I'm getting close, it'll kind of keep nudging me in the right direction. Yeah, exactly, Yorm. That many is a bunch of tiny scratches. The circle with the bar here in hope is, I believe, a word for air, or more accurately, and then the 3 beams here are sunbeams. And the 2 swishes here are rivers. And then you have things of some things being more abstract. Like, they're not all clearly logographic, like voices here is not super clear, though it could be like mind output with the 2 marks there. Oh, yeah, so I'm in New Game Plus, Yorm, so I've completed this game all the way through once, which is why I have all of these words that I do. Die acts where. And when is many? Where is many? Die, hope, stars, there's many. See, it doesn't like that. It doesn't like that either, okay? What else can I... Oh, I'm missing the N. Okay. When, die, where? Where voices talk in. This still isn't right. It still thinks I'm not right. So, which one is it gonna cut off this time? Cuts off many. We're getting there. Very slowly. When? Die. Hope. Rivers, I, and I again. where I think I'm going to leave out the voices here. I'm going to assume that that one's wrong, because I think it is. I think that this is meant to be a prefix to voices, because then otherwise it's where voices talk in many voices. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yes, got it. And we get die to be correct when I die. And hope we've seen enough times that we can get that right. And we can guess at the last ones now. So it's related to, though it doesn't give me this, it is clearly related to the word for talk. So it could be knowledge. Like, passed down words being knowledge. Or it could be ghosts. It could be ghosts. Let's see what this one is. I think it's ghosts. The main reason I suspect it's ghosts. Exactly. They can all kind of work, but the main reason I think it's ghosts is that they're giving me more information than they claim to be giving me. Namely, if this was intended to be singular, ghost or talk I would expect to translate as talks. The letters would be exactly the same, but they give me that bit of the translation for free. So that implies a plural subject, i.e. ghosts instead of knowledge. It does look a tiny bit like a ghost sheet. It's also interesting, like it told me here that the word ghosts also means recording, which is very thematically appropriate for death rituals I found out about in my first playthrough, in that spirits being recorded and the memories of the emperors being recorded on the same kind of materials as the robots use for their logic circuits. Makes sense. Okay. So this is speech not of many, or yeah, I think that's right. Speech not of many or not of loud. So, quiet. This is definitely a map. Yeah. I don't think we're going to use this, or be doing a full playthrough of this unless you guys really want me to. Just because this game takes a while, and as fun as it is, to keep doing the deciphering, it'll probably be something we save for when I need a break and just need a chill stream. And having screwed up that inscription massively, oh cool, they allow this to just work. In my notebook, this is an extremely chill game. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no. Is it great or is it more great? I think it's more great. I think I had that wrong last time. It's many, many, or big, or many, or big, bigger, biggerer. So I think we do that. Treasures of enormous value. Well, that's exciting. Maybe we want to keep this one to ourselves. No. Ha! I knew you were a spy. It was big, big, big. Can we... Nope, it is locked. My fingers under the lid. Huh. Huh. Some kind of reliquary. So... Oh yeah. If you guys like this game, like seriously, go give them love. They absolutely, absolutely deserve it. Game is completely gorgeous. But yeah, so there's a bit of loop philosophy that they store their belongings because their soul will come back. But for some reason that means that they don't know. If everyone who dies come back, why don't they know? Why don't they know? 6, can you open it up? You don't have... Seriously? What kind of useless robot are you? Useless robot. And... The robot is sad. Get a crowbar from the ship. In the meantime, let's see. Now that 6 is not here, let's open that up.
And there it was, just lying there. The greatest treasure I ever found. From inside the core, from the distant past of the nebula's once great empire.
Not that distant.
It was a crown.
Mark of the Empire. What are we gonna do with this? Let's take a look at this inscription, because this is another extremely long one. Related the word for emperor, so probably law. This is the word for the empire. We've got emperor in the territory of, or territory emperor of many people. Toward, I think, prospered? Nay. Remember... Maybe shines, and this is bright. The law of the Emperor shines bright of... I'm not super confident on that. We will try. We will try that. Makes sense. The lost crown of the Empire. That went missing 350 years ago, after the last one. Anyway, we close the box. And he threw himself off the thing. And sadly it's empty. Oh no. Whatever will we do? Whatever will we do with that? So yeah, I freely acknowledge that I am achievement hunting here. There is an achievement if I do not tell anyone finding the crown of Iox. We have no water in here though. What's up here? Hello? Hello? That looks like a knife. So, yeah, the Middle Eastern aesthetics continue. We've got a very aggressively curved thing here. So the Empire appears to be some kind of like Ottoman Empire equivalent, to be honest. But yeah, well. That's Empire. For all. Cool, so this is actually its own. That's good to know that we're getting a different symbol here, getting some of our numbers. One Empire for all. Extremely pointy. And we have that bronze scimitar, very much Middle Eastern, like Bronze Age Turkic. Similar, like the axes here are bronze. So its rough equivalent seems to be looking at something that's mostly doing work from the like Bronze Age, which means several thousand years old. Yeah, it's a nice little bit of just linguistic construction. But no, this is not. Six does not know, and we're not going to tell him. But you think it's pretty suggestive, right? The person who died here was highly literate, wrote in a beautiful script, made a map saying that made a map pointing towards some kind of elaborate gravesite where the rivers will take him to where ghosts are talking, and the crown of Iox is in the box. So we found probably where the last emperor died.
After the dead air of the house, it was good to see the sky again.
Two interesting artifacts here, the scimitar and the dagger. And we can... No. No, you may not. Don't hassle me. Who died here and what happened to Renba? Generally 3 very good bits of information. That one, a channel down there. The super obviously dug out. There once was a wellspring here. So something's going on. What's back there? Oh, that's the ship. Let's take a look at this inscription. Because we have more of those. This is really what I spend most of the game doing, is hunting down every single inscription I can, because I am obsessive like that, and I made a... oh yeah, garden site. Garden site translates as field. It is not a... there's no way. It's supposed to be the Emperor's graveyard. I think, not to the final area of the game. Which, the Emperor's Graveyard is where the map goes to. So that's the next area we're going to in this game, so I'm not even going to call that one a spoiler. Yeah. So clearly the wellspring where the water once was didn't work. Did not work. Anyway though, there's a shrine there, and there was smoke over there. Still is smoke. Never been this far from the rivers. Weird. So yeah, there's nothing there. It's just completely silent. But somewhere there's a stone inside with something weird. And we have another inscription. A short one this time and complete. Emperors are. So this is what I mean with the game helping us out by filling in some of the grammar for us. This language makes no distinction in its script between singulars and plurals. Phonetically it probably does, but for some cases in Arabic, that's also the case. Anything that's not a long vowel is not preserved, and so you might have or often is not written down. Because the short vowels use, it's definitely eternal. The short vowels would be little diacritics in between the letters. So there are cases in Arabic where there are two different grammatical forms that are spelled exactly the same, and that seems to be the case of what this language is doing as well. It's not recording all of the phonetic information in the lexical morphology, which is really cool. It's a nice way of making things a little easier for the player too, because then they can just give us the grammar. So yeah, that seems weird though. Why are the emperors? Why is this an emperor site apart from the the crown that we found belonging to the emperors? With someone in it. It's the same goddess as we saw on Meerzi. Kibenya. The figurine is very simply fashioned, but yeah, water goddess in a devotional shrine next to a channel. It makes some sense. Yeah, it is. All Semitic Ark of the Conclave, it's all Semitic languages tend to have that. So you're right, it's absolutely a thing in Hebrew writing as well, as long as it's not super formal writing where you need to make sure you're pronouncing it exactly right. Anyway, so here we have another question word. Plant life, grow. I agree with this one being strong as trees? Big plants? Maybe? That seems to make the most sense, but we aren't able to really quite confirm that yet. Anyway, the shrine itself is stone, but it's not clearly brought from somewhere. It seems to be a grave. Actually, I can say with some confidence that this is a grave marker. How old is the pillar? If this is all older, then this is weird, because this had been existing and then they brought this in. So yeah, for some reason they did that. Someone lived out here and they brought something from the Empire, closer to the Empire, in here. which is extremely cool. We'll find out where that's from in not that long, honestly. Hopefully, I think that's probably where we'll try and get to, is the one more site after this. We're just not going to go back to Iox, but we've been going for almost 2 hours, so we'll do one more area, and then we'll probably end up calling it a stream. Well, there was a ship here. Someone crash landed. Unfortunately. But yeah, there's some evidence that this was Janaki's ship, and Janaki Renba is dead. Completely blackened, and the hull completely shattered. Burnt to a crisp. Must have used an inadvisable propellant. That's a understatement. Complete understatement. So, yeah. He did seem to be, like, leading us to somewhere. He wanted to find something, so... yeah. That's bad. Is there a way down? Six doesn't think anything I do is wise, so... yeah, well... it is completely crisped. It's not clear, though, at this point, why it exploded. Somehow it exploded, and somehow it crash-landed. So, one working explanation would be that he found the bones of the Emperor, but he ended up landing the ship somewhere where he cannot get back into space, and so tried to blast off and screwed up. Yeah, stop being snarky. I haven't killed you yet. We'll get there. See, something survived the fire. Please don't be an arm. And thankfully, not an arm. A battered thing from the earliest days of the Empire. He had a lot of finds, which is pretty impressive. That's imprecise. That is a very imprecise way of saying that. Just, it feels right. Well, I definitely know, like, you can... if you've been around enough artifacts, you can definitely get a sense for what something is used for and what's going on pretty quick, but I would not say that is terribly precise or good archaeology to do that. Sail back to where back is right now, and I suspect Mother is probably wrong. Nope, cool, that is right. Okay. Related to law and pray. I guess remember makes the most sense, and that's a nice cluster of meanings, of laws being things you have to remember on how to act, prayers being remembered speeches, often if they're ritualized, and so there's set phrasings, then it's a remembered speech, and so this is the verb, then, of remembering. But that's a very sweet thing. Aw, remember to sail back to your mother again. That is incredibly sweet. And that kind of inscription on a telescope that kind of thing on a telescope is really kind of meaningful. It does indicate that the person who at the time it was inscribed was literate and was fairly wealthy if it's making things from silver. And that inscription indicates a little bit of philosophy and a little bit of a little snippet of a family memory. I think we're ready to go. So, having found that little memory from a mother to her child from some 700 years ago, we're ready to leave this moon. Well, we thought we were ready to leave this moon.
Darkness.
This is not the Nightingale. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. She has very bad luck. That's nice. But something spooky. 6? Is that you? 6? Where's your head? Miyari. The 6? Is everything alright? You followed me, Lexi. As I thought you might. Because you knew. Because you've always known. The 6? Is someone calling? There is no one here. You are quite alone. You might confess your lie quite safely. What lie? You are not what you claim. I know this, Mayari. You asked me to look, and I found so much. And who do I say I am? You say you are the highest of the high. She who knows the people. You are nothing. I know it. Am I talking to Brenda? There isn't time. I found something. Something that matters more than your lies. Lexi, there is a great darkness. An all-consuming, hungry darkness. And it is coming. Darkness? There is an ancient place, Mayari, an observatory. It is watching, and it holds the wires of our fate in its claws. What fate? We're trying to get as much more as we can. The loop is a lie, as you know. I will find it before the vault is lost. The robots know, but they don't remember. Someone, long ago, made certain they would not remember. Renba? What is this place? It is the source. Oh good, there's Six's head. After that very weird event. I do not understand the question. What were we talking about? Nothing, mistress. We have maintained a companionable silence for several minutes. So yeah, Leander, that is not the robot being mean. Janaki Renba stole a robot's mind for a moment to give us a message. An excellent question, Leander. Nothing. Just a passing thought. Well, that was spooky. Let's get out of here for real this time. Excellent, mistress. Let's go. So yeah, what the fuck is going on is a pretty good summary. Pretty good. A whole lot of effort to be unhelpfully cryptic. But we did get some information that maybe we don't trust Professor Mayari. Though what she's claiming is odd. Highest of the high, she who knows the people. Those are imperial titles if I've ever heard them. Like, to a T, those are highest of the high, king of kings, etc., etc., some kind of Shah or imperial title. So it's suggestive that Mayari is not just the head of the university, but is thinking she's a lot more powerful than she actually is. Let's head back to civilization. Maybe. We may do that. We may do that. But maybe material indicates that maybe it was made on Spaaaaace. Though that would be quite impressive. We could take her home. We could take her home and give her back to Spaaaaace and see what happens. We're accumulating a pretty healthy dose of things. We can trade them for more artifacts. We can sell them for potentially... Oh god, that's a terrible camera angle. Please. 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 Nope, okay. We can trade them for more artifacts, more inscriptions, or we can sell them to get other favors out in the world. Or we can give them to the library and to the folks on Iox, and they'll take care of them. Depends on whether we think that Iox is worthwhile or not. The rivers just swirl around and around and around forever, and that's the core of the idea of the loop. And that time, like the rivers, is endlessly circling and never going anywhere. Renba said he found the source of something that proves that the loop is a lie. So, yeah. There's a lot of hints once you know this game a little more, even just a single playthrough. Does a lot of good. Okay, so we've got some options as to where we can go. We could go back and return the figure of Kibenya. We could go to Elbereth for Oroi. Ask her about that tripod. Aside from the mural, somewhere in the Ghost's Wake out here. Or we can go to Iox. So what do you guys think? Where do you want to go? We'll do one of these forward, and then we'll call it a day. As to which one we'll do, I'll leave that. Actually, you know, if we do Iox, I'll say we can do Iox and one more today, because Iox shouldn't take too long. But Mercy will take a little... actually, Mercy also won't take long. So we can do Mercy, Ordiox, and then one more. If we do Elbereth, that'll be the last one for the day, because Elbereth has a lot of things going on there. Or we could avoid human contact and keep finding more interesting things. Yeah. Meanwhile, I am going to drink tea, because my throat is parched. Good tea. Okay. Avoid human contact? I like your style, Johan. Like your style. Yo, we'll have to go and deal with Mercy or Mayari eventually. But let's go here. And since we're only going to do this one, I'm going to take, instead of just skipping it, the travel, I'm going to travel all the way. All the way across the entire side of the nebula. It will be fun. And you guys get more time with incredibly pretty scenery. What did I mean what happened to the river? Ah, okay. That's actually a misplaced line of dialogue. That dialogue's supposed to play when you get close to a site. When you're close to a site and the river starts being sparkly, the river slows down to almost nothing, and you can see a little more. Instead, though, we can sail through all of these rocks and hear a little bit of our storytelling. Last Emperor disappeared after Alex fell. He didn't die there with everyone else. Are you suggesting he went to the Hermitage room? Why not? I would explain a few things. And more rapids! Whee! Whee! So much fun. So many fun rapids. Sailing the rivers here is actually just fun. Why is Ghost's Wake called that? That's a good question. Well, that was obvious. It's super haunted. Look at how pretty it is. You know, according to the Great Loop, the souls of the dead sail the rivers until they are reborn. Well, the story goes that most of them are asleep. Dreaming of childhood, or lovers, or big meals? I don't know. But sometimes they have nightmares, and then they might wake up. Those that stay awake forever, trapped in the rivers, formless. It said they gather in Ghost's Wake. It said you can hear their helpless cries. So this is what I assume the Emperor was referring to on the map when he said wanted to go where the ghosts speak with quiet voices. But yeah, is that he wants his soul to travel to Ghost's Wake. Anyway, we're close to something here. What did we pass there that made that so weird? Well, don't know. There was a lot of sparkling. A lot of slow water through the wires. Oh crap, I missed my turning. It should reroute me pretty soon. Let's see if it rerouted yet. Yeah, I'll just head the other side of Elbereth, and it'll be fine. Luckily, like, it says missed your turning whenever, but it does let you free sail. You can travel to wherever without worrying about the route. It will reroute you, because you can always get to anywhere else eventually. So I'm not worried about getting a little bit out of the way. Anyway, more religion. And the Loop Temple. Six seems to think there is none. The Loop priests claim that life is a great cycle. They believe that all that happens has happened before. Literally happened? Do you think we've had this conversation before? Oh yeah, you can't sequence break? Because you can't go to somewhere you can't go discover a new place yet. But you can find all of the other search sites. So everything that's just out in the world of the area is you can get to by free sailing. You just can't get to any moons that you aren't ready for. So it's a small sequence break. And yeah, apparently he's owned by the Loop Temple, and if his primary user is Mayari, well, they are the same. So yeah, Mayari runs the Loop Temple as well. So she has small-scale delusions of grandeur. But she is functionally the most powerful person in the Protectorate. Yeah, she has little sneaky things everywhere. And that was the reason I sent Six away, is that I did not want, do not want Mayari to know about the Crown of Iox. If Six sees it, he'll be required to say something. Anyway though, Ghost's Wake out here. Renbo landed his boat, which is a problem. That was his big mistake. And look at how pretty this area is. And we are in an area of very light flow. And yeah, Six thinks he tried to blow himself off the surface because he couldn't get off any other way. Anyway, so we've got 4 sites here that are potential. Each of them will have an artifact attached and will narrow our search area. I'll give you one guess as to which one is correct, because it's pretty obvious once you have the whole map. But we're going to go and we're going to grab all of them, so we're going to make sure we're looking at that and heading to that one. Any of these sites that aren't in this area of very low flow, you can find while free sailing. And so you can narrow things down really far. I spent hours just sailing around this area. No, it's not the last one you visit, actually. It is a set location every time. It's just the level is set up. The level is set up that it's likely to be the last one you visit. But yeah, it is a set location where the river broadens out is where our moon is. Oh, I just fell off. That's Interesting. Some kind of ruin, some distance away, straight ahead. Through the pretty sounds and the pretty music, but there is no air. And that will ensure we get absolutely no context for the artifact, but luckily we have magical robot analysis to fix that for us. Oh no. Air seems overrated, at least for our robots. But yeah, this is what I meant when I was talking earlier, that there are sometimes things, little fragments from a moon.
Got hoppered away, and I was alone.
Let's just leave now.
Then it came back.
Oh, fine. I recovered a chipped pottery container with metal edging. And there's no inscription on the hinge, so there's nothing in there. It's just gone. And we know it's close by, so that's cool. Let's take a look at what our next site is. Okay, we cannot get to this one, so that's no big deal. We cannot get to this one, because in order to get to these ones, we'd have to do some shenanigans. Exit, go around, come back in, because everything is one directional. So we just missed the site. So we're not going to bother with these two, and we're just going to work our way around right into the secret site. Let's see if we just sailed past it. Yeah, you would think, but it seems like by and large the technological path or level is pretty not up to snuff on that. So either way works. That despite being able to sail through here, we're really not looking at a level of technology that works. Because robots are not a new invention. They fall into the trope of having this ancient technology, ancient civilization that was super advanced and came up with all these things, with reason this time. And then they buried the robots, and the knowledge of how to make them was lost. And yeah, with an instilled fear of the waters and the rivers out here, it seems like most people, they just don't even think of going out diving into the rivers. It may also be that it's stupidly cold and you basically need spacesuits, but yeah. We found our moon, and let's go be antisocial out here. The site from the mural. Someone had drawn a map to this place, but why? But why? Absolutely dirt digging, and this place is super cool.
Sites I travelled to with the robot. Most of them seemed lost, abandoned. But this one felt like it had been hidden.
How much further? Not far, mistress. The path turns here. Yeah, the church has a definite vested interest in not contradicting their philosophy. So, yeah. But, if the estimate here is 1,500 years old, let's just look at our timeline again here. Says right before the beginning of the ancient empire. So, almost 1,700 years ago, around the same time that the goddess was constructed. In contrast, a whole bunch of our stuff here, well, the Holy Empire being made for the quote-unquote first empress, but Then the last emperor who we found. All of this says, yeah, that was the Hermitage Moon happened. That old site happened a mere 350 years ago. This thing happened 1700 years ago. And they're harnessing the lantern, the river, for the lanterns. Trees and lots of water. And this is an incredibly pretty area. I love this one so much, and there's so much to do here. And it's in nearly pristine condition. There's ivy, but, well, ivy grows on anything with mortar in it, so it's definitely old and otherwise in really good shape. What's over here? Hello? Something carved into the stone in production. So this likely dates to the time of production or not that far after. Though, with how quickly ivy grows, that's not necessarily a guarantee. Peace. Find. Peace again? What? This one has a lot of characters, but it must be peace. In peace, we find peace. Fair enough. Like, you're not wrong. They're definitely not wrong about that. Obviously, like, they did say that there was a fragment, so there's definitely more to see there. That just got lost, but, you know, that may be an extra indication that that's younger than the construction of this. It's hard to say. But yeah, that was a decision they made. These. Hold. So many options here. So many options. Nay, that can be stopped. Okay, these something. It's probably some kind of walls. Hold garden. Oh. Full. Though I don't think that's a full. Yeah, that doesn't quite work. Translation is clearly incorrect, and something is not right. Deceive is not the correct word. Yo, okay. Garden. And these walls hold garden full of Why is there a 1 here? There's, oh, because of that. We're just gonna throw everything at it, even though I know that that's not how this language works. It will also go, that's not right. Translation is clearly incorrect. Yep, it's gonna keep doing that. Which means at least we have enough to get a sense of it. Still is these. Still is holes. Still is water. I know. The robot is so snarky. Still is garden. I still think full makes sense there. But where else could it be? If it's not full, what would it be? Stop? Nay. Just a never there? Now we don't worry about the rest of it? Nay. Nay. Stop? Nope. Full? Nope. And then up there. And it will go, nope, you're wrong again. And it will keep, yeah. I really don't know why that is. Why this is not working. Because that should be like walls, garden. Still think it's full. Watches still fits that. And we do the of there, and it goes, no, that's also wrong. It's gonna just keep going until it tells me, okay. Okay. These, something, old, garden. Oh, okay. It's just that's not. It seems to be that it's just not deception. Or it's not deceive. It could be garden full of deceptions. Okay. Okay. Fine. That was just me being stupid. Walls. Full of... Let's do secrets. Though I'm not confident on that over knowledge. I think secrets... Because not is visible, I guess, maybe? Still change my mind, but these walls hold a garden full of secrets. It's also very true. Absolutely, extremely, utterly true thing. So how do we get inside? Perhaps it was a garden once. And we have another goddess statue of some kind. And it's locked. Quite unlucky, that. So it's locked with no keyhole. And one that we do not have an answer to. Yeah, I'm not obviously full of that, confident on the deception being clear either, but yeah, that is a thing that exists. And we teleport inside. to that little red jewel in the background.
Wynne died.
And we didn't die. The hopper did not kill us.
The smell of flowers flooded the misty air.
A temple to a horned goddess. Yeah, not a priest. Aaliyah is struggling a little bit with the interpretations. But a mysterious goddess that we don't really know. That's an interesting question. A gate that does not open. Flowers. I leant over a flower and inhaled deeply. Musk and rose. A perfume garden. Yep, that's a true statement. A tree cracking a stone. Hello? A stray seed that's now grown all the way through. Yeah, we've got time. A few hundred in your cohort. And how many cohorts are there? Thank you. Aww. Jeez, you don't need to be mean about it, Six. A door does not open. How interesting, Six. And that one's locked. There might be a key? Aww. He thinks... Six sure thinks we are dumb. Though, I mean, that is making fun of game logic. Locked door, gotta be a key. There's just gotta be. Well, up to a point, then they throw themselves over a cliff. It's usually been the robot's fault. Uh-oh. This doesn't seem very smart. That seems unwise. Jeez. Six. Constantly savage. Well, we have this like big open courtyard here. This kind of floor plan of this open courtyard is much more Middle Eastern than Iox is. This does look to me kind of like the exterior of a mosque, just without the towers. So a very, very early kind of mosque would have a somewhat similar layout of being a courtyard and then a covered area behind it. Though with this just being courtyards and courtyards, fits more like something, let's see, some kind of palace I guess would probably fit better than a mosque as a description here. Though they do of course bear structural similarities. Short distance teleportation. What's inside a hopper? A bunch of mumbo jumbo. This is good skepticism. And there's the Nightingale out there. And this kind of big garden complex has a painting. A very cool painting, but almost gone. Very nearly gone. But there is clearly sun imagery on the top, and some kind of wing on the back, and maybe some other things, but we will have to see. See if we can't figure out what this fragment says. It's hugely long. Absolutely hugely long. We have a heart word there, and... Nay, I don't like that. And... Empire. Something was the heart and something of the empire. I think we can safely say that there is an of here, and should be 2 words, because there's one. If we do that, nay, what other words can fit in there? None of those. Oh, strong. Nay. Something of all. But that's one. All one. So, still, I think that's a safe bet of if we have all of all one. But things are not quite right here. So, was there's an and there. There's a heart there. I mean, the strong is, I think, right, but its strength is what that should be. So that's also wrong. Strong should also be wrong, because that should be strength. Ah, okay. Something of each one. That's how that is. It's not... I think knowledge makes sense. Knowledge of each one was heart and strength of the empire. Cool. I actually, like... Oh. That makes perfect sense, actually, because this place... Well, we'll get to it later. The architectural style is empire. Well, please stop going crazy, camera. Well, across that bridge, if I don't die on it, does end up being... Cool. A graveyard. And in that graveyard is going to be accumulated knowledge. In the meantime, we have an inscriptionless something. A site that we have not yet seen yet. Not yet seen at all. But we can get through there, maybe? Yeah. And then there is something. Something huge. with a tree growing through it, some kind of, like, basically greenhouse. But the door is stuck. That sucks. I agree, Aaliyah. Why is every goddamn door stuck? Maybe we'll have to try that bridge? Or maybe. Or this is just plant life. Oh, I don't think we're allergic to anything. We seem to not be allergic to anything. And we're just gonna go for it. There we go. Pushing our way through. And there's just an open doorway. Ow. Sadly, rose bushes tend to be pointy.
The air inside the glass house was damp. It smelt like fruit and warm water.
This tree is colossal. It is quite similar to the Tree of Knowledge on Iox, the one we saw in the center of the university at the very beginning of the game, and in fact is the source of that tree. It's kind of like. Maybe we could let the robot in. We could also not let the robot in. That would be cool too. And we have still flowing water. A lot of places in this nebula just don't have any water. Elbereth is one of those chief places. So the whole place is very dry, very crowded, and as a result, very poor. They would love a place like this. And another way across. Hello. A waterfall. Yo, enough water for Elbereth 3 times over. Only there was a way to transport it, and we have a sundial here. If you remember the very, very beginning, on Iox, there's also a sundial that looks exactly the same as this. So the two seem to have very, very close relationships, which is pretty cool. But tying that together exactly is still unclear, because we still don't have the context for what all is going on in this place. Sleep now. Sleep now for first days? Weird. First days you work. Okay. That's now. And work. And so first days must be tomorrow? So first day, now you work, and you get, at the Grand Sundial, a very ominous encryption. Something about the people sleeping here is coming back. No, I don't want to go inside. Don't go inside. I'm taking the chance to not be snarked at. Like, jeez. You could not snark at me. It would be okay. Locked or stuck, like everything else in this damn place. So yeah. Ominous thing, and let's go in here.
stone markers huddled together. Whispering nasty things
Yeah.
about me.
Very much. But yeah, these stone markers apparently are found identical to the one on Spaaaaace. So it's a safe guess that the one on Spaaaaace came from here. So let's try and figure out the context of this place. A whole bunch of markers, but completely impossible to see if there's anything written on them. This one's in better condition, still legibly carved. Let's do it. Well, let's do it. Let's see what knowledge is found here. One end of a broken fragment of text. Yeah, I mean, should I go get 6? I certainly can. But I am constantly suspicious of that robot on this playthrough. So, do I actually want to do that? You guys tell me. And if you guys say I should, then we will. We remember and remember is correct, and there's something here. We remember fallen. Some kind of monumentary thing. Potentially? We've got a lot of markers, so they do seem to be pretty different. But there's something inside here. Yeah, I think she would definitely do that. As the moment we go there, Mayari has to actually, will get all the information from him. Opens. Sword. Something is weird about this. We'll remove present. Nay. Okay. Okay, so sword is right. Awesome. And this is just a really long one. Okay. So this must be let for the context here. So, but a really complicated word, because present something. Yeah. That must be the closest, but that's pretty weird. And the dagger on the Hermitage Moon, so the bronze dagger, and something that says don't use violence, come from the same place. Pretty cool. Yeah, for such a common word, that was a very complicated set of symbols. But I suppose let is actually a very complicated concept to explain. Extremely complicated. Good, we have an inscription here. So many things that we can translate. I hope seeing me translate this is enjoyable for you guys, because I can kind of try and talk a little more about what my thought process is on which one this is. A lot of it is kind of just matching though, 100 times. Those ones up here, we have them. But it should be our. Oh well, we can do an of us to fill in our. 100 is right, and the rest of those we already had. So value, weirdly there's like a not all, so maybe dedication to not all, and thank you Yarn for following, I appreciate that a lot. So we'll try to like devote, no, oh, duh, it's not all. Some of us have, this must be a past tense marker then, this is the verbal indication, and this is the word for life. So, past tense, lived. Some of us have lived 100 times. So, that seems to be an indication that I appreciate that, Norm. Yeah, it seems to be an indication, though Aaliyah is being very boneheaded about it, that this area, or the people in this area that these are devotional icons to, were believers in the loop. And as believers in the loop, they are telling us, oh gosh. Yep, I noticed that things, stream is being a little chuggy, so we're going to actually pause it. Just sit still for a moment until things show up again, because I am getting pretty bad frame rates. So we're going to give it a moment for the bitrate to recover, and in the meantime, we're going to, you should still be able to hear me. So, to continue that thought, this area appears to be devoted to people who believed in the loop, and therefore believed in some version of reincarnation. So, we can kind of conclude off of that they are from a time when the loop was worshipped, which the loop temple was originally established in the Holy Empire. This makes sense for an Empire period site, as well, that it just barely predates the Ancient Empire, and so this became a site of importance for belief in the loop. As to the rest of the site and the garden, this appears to have been an extremely high status area, because just the speculation off of that, there's been very few finds of violence. A broken dagger, but that's it. Past that, we've been mostly finding a bunch of warnings against violence and a lot of statements of things like let words be your weapon. Yeah, I can see the bitrate is slowly starting to recover. OBS is saying it's fine, and Twitch is still saying it's a bit low. So we'll slowly start moving and slowly start doing things, and hopefully, luckily this is not a very fast-paced game for this to make a huge world-ending difference. Either someone was making preparations when this place was abandoned, or the shrine that stood here was removed. Well, we know that there is one shrine missing, and that shrine is on the Hermitage Moon in the Eye of the Cyclone. Yep, we are still getting drop frames, so let me know if things are weird. But yeah, nothing there. Hey look, here's the cracked bridge from earlier. Awesome, we seem to be back. And more markings on this one. So, an extremely high status, partially religious, possibly a death cult of some kind site, of people who believed in the loop. Really interesting bits of ideas found here, and the question is, what do we do with it? Always holds you safe? Nay, doesn't like that one. Okay then. Let's at least do holds you safe. Okay? There's one more word there. Oh, eternity. Eternity holds you safe. There we go. I think that was an issue where, like, my frame rates dropped on this, on the game, and that caused Streamlabs to freak out. So yeah, I don't know, some kind of maybe stone of protection, some kind of blessing. These are grave markers, though Aaliyah doesn't know that yet. And because these are grave markers, that eternity is holding their soul safe. Nothing there? Okay. And there's something on top of this one. This is old. So, not sure how much older, but there's something on top of it. Some kind of metal hoop. Heavy, but perhaps not as heavy as I had expected. There are symbols inscribed on the inside curve. We'll see if we can translate this one. I know my last playthrough I never did manage this one. So, I speak for if it's related to, it says it's related to quiet, but it's hard to tell when it recommends that, if it's actually related to quietness, or if it's related to, if it's just the speak. Regardless though, I think in this case it doesn't matter, because the only one of these related to speaking is the antonym of silence. So I speak for the silent. Yes, this is the Lorax, and it speaks for the Emperors. Wait. Some kind of recording device. Some kind of recording device. And we now know that there's another site somewhere. We can triangulate its location pretty easily. The broken steps up there. Well, that's okay. And another marker. With more inscriptions on it. Lots more inscriptions. I love this place. It lets me just be a linguistic nerd. And being able to figure out the context helps a whole lot here. Death will not hold you for. It does look like a part of 6. Good guess, Ark. That is exactly what it is. That is the core, the thought core of a robot. I think it's this is supposed to be like a big time, so long. Death will not hold you for long. Is this a graveyard? A good note. And this one's got something here. Let's find out what. I do love this game. It's so peaceful. Here. Maybe. Well, here will sail again. Nope. It doesn't like that one. Let's try that a different way. It's not here. Sail again will. Okay. Ah. Okay. The previous one is broken up, and I will sail again. I agree with that, Yorm. They absolutely look like little people coming out of the ground. And in fact, they look kind of like little robots coming out of the ground. And they look with that. If you assume that like their heads are missing, and the thing on top of their neck, that recording device that we just found, sits on top of that, then these start looking an awful lot like robots. And yeah, we are tired and way out on the very edge of the world. There is just an infinite free fall. Yeah, I noticed that I'm getting the message right away, and no one else is.
The wind was strong up here. It wanted to grab you by the waist and chuck you down the cliff.
Very much that. Praise the sun indeed. So much of an area, but these seem to have nothing on them. And there's no way down. But so pretty. So we'll come down off the windy spot, and we'll keep exploring this area. We've almost found it all, which means we will want to let the we should probably let the robot in. Soon. Did we find all the places? I think we found everything. I'm just gonna walk through here one more time. Crossing this is bad, this is the one that's broken. Here's one more, okay. One more marker. It's buried, and no good finding the inscriptions. We do have a scimitar, just gonna throw that out there. We have a scimitar, but apparently we didn't bring it with us for some reason. Oh gosh, that chugged. Okay. Nothing here, nothing there. So where can we go? We can go around this way, and start making our way out. Frame rate's looking a little chunky on my side, but the bit rate should be fine, so this is just a frame rate issue. Because unfortunately this game is not optimized that well, because they ran out of money at the very end. So yeah, currently if it's dropping frames, that is the result of just the game dropping frames, not the stream dropping frames. But that's okay, because, well, it is getting rather warm and starting to chug. We are almost at the end of this. Yep, and there the bitrate tanks too. So many things. I tried so many doors in this place. That's the first I managed to open. I see you are still undamaged yourself, mistress. Do you have a sense of this place was from your exploration? A graveyard. Most curious. We've obtained 3 ancient artifacts here. We have also discovered the existence of one new location, an early Empire period moon. Perhaps we should return to the ship now, mistress? Let's do it. We can always come back to this place if we want to show 6, the graveyard, in a little while. But we left the surface of the graveyard moon, with rumors of a previously unknown site, the early Empire period moon. So we found a whole bunch of things and a whole bunch of new engravings. And now we return to the Nightingale. So, the stream should be recovering now, a little bit of frame drops, but that's okay. We should sail to Iox and tell Mayari what we've seen, and I am sure she wants to see the crown. Yep, the stream completely tanked. We'll give it a moment to catch up. One very brief moment. Oh wow. It is basically kaput. Okay. We will catch up as soon as possible. A curious place, mistress. So much water. If we could ship it, you would be very rich. We could make Elbereth bloom. Maybe I could tell someone about the place. I really should return this Spaaaaace, though I've grown rather attached to it. Well then, this here is where we are going to end the stream for today, with this nice, calm, soothing music. I'm concerned about why the stream is still not caught up. It seems to be very, very behind now. But as far as we can, I'm just going to leave it to sit here for a little while so it makes sure that it makes it to the end this time. And in the meantime, we are going to talk a bit about just what this game does super, super well, because I do love this game dearly. The big thing that I love about this game is all the inscriptions. Well, some of the ethics about being an archaeologist in a universe where archaeology is not valued, and so trying to manage self-interest while still a genuine love for the past, is interesting. And I'm sure if you're on the OSP Discord, Sarcastic GM has told some of the stories about some of the things he has had to do as an actual professional archaeologist. But it is pretty clear that this is not all that is going on here, and some of the concerns they have skips all the boring side of archaeology to do with the focus on functionally looting. We are not really contextualizing things, though I've been trying to contextualize the sites as I'm walking through them. But Aaliyah is not really interested in contextualizing things and making sure materials stay in context. That's not the role of an archaeologist in this game. The archaeologist, like Indiana Jones, like Nathan Drake, is finding things, potentially selling them, but finding things and just picking them off the ground, reading them, pocketing them for whatever purposes they have. But the archaeolinguistics side of things, the material history, is done incredibly well. And so you're taking things that you know very little of, and you're piecing together some part of their past, some part of what they were, and some part of why this is all happening. How an object got to a place, who put it there. What does this tell us about the past? And there's more of that we'll see later in the game, if I decide to play more of this. As I said, this will probably become one that's just a chill stream. Whenever I need a break, this is a great game to take a break for a few hours and just enjoy. Sail around, find some sites, and just translate things. And in translating that, you see a lot of really interesting philosophy and a lot of really interesting conceptions of the of death, of life, and of a universe where there is constantly flowing water, but also great inequality in who gets that water. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this. It's been, as a historian, like it's so much fun to just go into this fictional world and do the thing that is so much more complicated to do in real life. It's so much fun to do in real life too, but in this game they give you all the information you're going to need, and so you are able to piece together a lot of the story of this nebula just from the stuff you're finding, and doing that leaves plenty of room for interpretations, plenty of room for wrong ideas, and it's left ambiguous whether some of the philosophy is right or wrong, or whether it even matters. So, yeah, this is where we will end the stream for today. I'm going to leave it run for about 2 more minutes just to make sure that it all catches up, but I'm not going to be saying anything. So I hope you guys all enjoyed, and scheduling. Next week's going to be a little weird for scheduling, because I have a seminar in the evenings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So, the stream is going to start at 7 GMT instead of 6, or instead of 5, sorry. So it'll start 2 hours later than normal. That's going to be true for Monday and Wednesday. The Saturday I have a conference, so I will let you guys know closer to that as to whether or not the stream will be on Saturday or if it will be on Sunday. It kind of depends on whether or not I go out and what the actual final schedule for that is. So yeah, if it's not on Saturday, it'll be on Sunday next week. Yeah, past that, Monday, Wednesday, stream starts at 7 p.m. GMT. We're going to be trying to finish Banner Saga, and then try and finish Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones on those 2 days. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm going to leave it run for a little bit longer, just to make sure it catches up. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a good day. Yorm is going to be the Banner Saga, which is the one I've been playing and the one I did the launch stream with, and then Fire Emblem 8 The Sacred Stones, which I started last week, and I've been doing a terrible speedrun, mythology-focused speedrun of. So yeah, and then next Saturday is going to be something else. Maybe do Demon's Souls, if I can get that running. We will see. No. It'll either be Demon's Souls or Age of Empires. I haven't decided which one yet. So yeah, strategy games, as per normal, because that's what I happen to have a lot of right now.